Hey guys, it's Madison. Thanks for joining me in this faithful home. Guys, I'm so excited to finally announce the launch of my newest product, which is the My Faithful Friend dolls. I am so excited. Guys, this has been a project that I have been working diligently on for the last 6 months, and they are finally here. They are ready, and I am so excited to introduce you to each of my faithful friends. So the design process behind these My Faithful Friend dolls started back in February when my husband David left for a military trip, and so I was home alone. And I always like to take the corner of my blanket that I have in our bedroom and kind of like curl it up against my cheek and like bring me comfort. And while I couldn't sleep well that first night that he was gone, and all that night, I came up with the concept of My Faithful Friend dolls. I wanted to create a lovey doll, like you see here, that incorporates a comfort blanket. Now, often you'll see the lovey blankets that are just the head and then they have the blanket attached to them, but I wanted it to be an entire doll plus a blanket lovey, to be able to comfort and support your little child as the blanket is loving and comforting their little doll. What you see here in this bear, his name is Atlas. He, along with all of his other friends, are a full body doll. So he has little legs that can kick around, his arms can move up and down, he has a full head and body, but he is securely holding on to his comfort blanket, which is the design process that I worked really hard on over the past 6 months in coming up with the pattern and the design, shape, and size and every little detail in these dolls. When I began drawing and designing these animals, I wanted them to hold on to the comfort of their blanket, and I didn't want the blanket to become detached from the bear or the fox or the raccoon, because then it becomes just another animal doll that will get thrown aside. That's what I think makes this doll so unique and special, is that they will always have the little blanket with them. Some key features that I would like to mention here on our bear Ivy is that every seam and every stitch is double secured, which means I went over every detailing twice to ensure that every spot is going to stay firmly attached. Now, this kind of freaks me out when I think about pulling on a doll, because David actually did this and it scared me. But you can see that nothing is going to come loose. Now, obviously, you're gonna have a kid playing with this and it's gonna get thrown around and it's gonna get dirty and it's gonna take a beating. But that's why I went and secured it with a double or triple thread stitch to know that it has a strong, secure hold. I wanted to consider that these animals will be suited for both boys and girls, and that's why I have come up with a boy and a girl version of each animal. So here I have my faithful friend Lucy. She is a raccoon, and her little boy counterpart is Bandit. So each of them is perfectly made for whether you have a boy or a girl. One other detail that I like to point out is the blanket. So this lovey blanket, like I said, is secured to the hands of your doll. It is not going to become detached. And it is made out of a beautiful soft minky fabric on the front, which is a very common and popular baby fabric. I did a lot of research when deciding the fabrics that I would use for these dolls, and I just knew right away that minky had to be on the blanket. what I love on the back of the blanket is this nice jersey knit fabric that coordinates to whether it is a girl or a boy. So she has this lovely floral pattern that Ivy has as well on the back of her blanket. And then likewise, Bandit has a gray arrow fabric, more of a masculine fabric for the boys, that would match with Oliver, who is our boy fox doll. See, he has the same arrow fabric on the back of his blanket as well. There is a special tag right here at the lower corner of every doll, and this tells you what their name is. On the front is my logo for my faithful friends, and on the back, this one says, My Faithful Friend Bandit. And you will find the names of each of these dolls on that back tab. Now, when it came to picking out the fabric for the body of the dolls, I did start by doing some research with different fabrics, textures, softness, how easily it would sew, how well it stayed secure. And I came up with using 100% cotton fabric for every body detail, including the ears. And then the accent pieces like the stripe on the fox, the nose on the bear, and the eyes on the raccoon are made out of felt. All of these dolls are stuffed with 100% polyfill stuffing that I bought at the local craft store. And like I said, the Lovey blanket is made out of minky and jersey knit fabric. Now, I mentioned this earlier that I hope that these dolls get loved on and played with and thrown around and roughed on and loved on. And so if your doll does get dirty, I have already tested these dolls in the washing machine. Now, I do suggest that if it is a minor dirt blemish, that you would use a cloth and a bucket of warm soapy water and try to hand spot when available. But if it is just really dirty and you need to throw it in the wash, you can throw it in the wash on a warm or cold water cycle. And then once it comes out of that cycle, I ran it by itself, the stuffing will absorb a lot of that water. So what I did was, seems kind of weird, but I just wring out the doll into the sink first to get out a lot of that excess water. And then you can fluff it in the dryer on a tumble dry low setting and lay it out flat to dry the remainder. That way you're not using the dryer too much. As simple as letting it dry overnight just out on the counter like on a towel, and it is good to go the next day. He or she will be ready for your little one to love on and play with again and again. These dolls measure approximately 14 inches tall, not including their ears, but including all the way down to their adorable kicking around little legs. And their blanket is roughly 12 inches by 12 inches square. Approximately. I mean, some of them may be like 11 by 13 or like 12 by 13. It's not an exact science. And that's exactly why I love these dolls so much. They are unique. Each one is sewn lovingly by myself. I do all of the sewing on everything start to finish, cutting out the fabric with my sewing machine that I have in my studio area. And I have taken the time to make sure that each stitch is meticulously sewn. With that being said, since they are small batch animal dolls, they are going to be unique. So while each of the fabrics will be the same, like this is the fabric that I have chosen for Bandit the raccoon, him and another Bandit the raccoon that I sew will look slightly different from each other, all resembling the general framework and concept because I did create the pattern myself. Here you can see I am painting on the final details of my faithful friends. I chose to use fabric paint for all of the details of their faces because I didn't want there to be any buttons or eyes or noses that could potentially pop off while your child is playing with it. And so I choose to use fabric paint, and that way I knew for sure that none of the intricate little details would become a choking hazard. I am super excited and proud of this project, guys, and it is my prayer that not only will my faithful friends bring comfort to your little one, but it will be a reminder to you of God's love and comfort when you see your child clinging onto my faithful friend. Cling tight to the Lord for your comfort and strength as you watch your child cling tight to their doll. If you are interested in purchasing my faithful friend dolls, I have a link to my Etsy account that I started for this faithful home, and it will be down in the description box below. So make sure to check that link, hop over to my Etsy account where you can find the way to purchase one of these dolls. I am so very excited that I have gotten this whole project come together. It's been 6 months in the making, and it's just amazing and it's incredible, and I can't wait to see what God does with this project and how he can comfort your little ones with this dolls and give you a little bit of a comfort and encouragement. Guys, thank you so much for showing me so much support and love through this process. I know that I've put a lot of spoilers out there on my Instagram channel, which if you aren't following, make sure to go follow This Faithful Home over on Instagram so that you can keep up to date. These dolls, I don't remember if I just mentioned it because I'm so excited, but they will be $35 shipped. So what a great deal for an adorable animal doll with a blanket lovey that your child will love for years to come. If you enjoyed this video and this exciting announcement, make sure to give it a thumbs up because that shows me how much you are interested in my channel and my new product launch, and that would just mean the world to me, guys. If you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. I regularly upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and I will check back in another video with you guys real soon. Bye!